What is going on, everyone? Badger here, and we are on the sixth episode of Peacemaker. The first five episodes is the only one that was released to the press because Gunn has been pretty consistent in saying that all the cameos and all the big stuff happens in the sixth, seventh, and eighth, and that the sixth and the eighth episode are some of the best things he's ever shot. Blah blah blah. He did the Nazi planet. Yeah, it is true. Ever since the third episode, when we keep going into the alternate Earth, people are like, there's not any black or brown people. Seems like there's only white people inside there. And the flag, you can't quite see if it's the American flag. And everyone's like, I wonder if they're doing Earth X where the Nazis won. I mean, it's not like it's established. And CW did a whole Crisis on Earth X or whatever. So it's not like it's not there, but it's very telling that this is the direction Gunn decided to go with it. So before we get to that, we left off last week. Christopher Smith has decided, no, I don't like this reality, which is the DCU, and he's going to go live in that other one permanently before he realized it was the Nazi planet. The friends, the 11th Street gang, they didn't like that he left, so they all resolve. Instead of turning in the alien tech and getting their jobs back, they go to Vigilante's basement, of which he had copious amounts of cocaine and weapons and guns that he's taken, because if he gives them to the cops, he's afraid that they'll be corrupt and might use them. So anyway, it was fun. He spills cocaine on everyone, and plot point for later on. But they use that. Ads is able to use the alien tech to connect it. They search through the big warehouse, portal, quantum, whatever, find the Peacemaker door, go over there, and Amelia Harcourt decides to go to Argus after meeting the brother and fooling. And you can tell they say a couple things about Mick Jagger singing in the Beatles and, little things. It's fine. Vigilante decides to go find his alternate counterpoint. That was by far the best thing, was Vigilante and talking to himself and the Spider-Man and all that shit, until he mentions Christopher Smith being his best friend. And that's when Earth 2, which we now find out is Earth X, Vigilante tells him that Christopher Smith is a piece of shit, and that's why he, Vigilante, joined the Sons of Liberty, which of course is that domestic terrorist group from the third episode or whatever. He does the thing. But before we talk about Earth X, we get the big cameo. And if you were to say, what connects this to Superman Man of Tomorrow, or what is the sequel to Superman that he kept talking about, we get Lex Luthor. So Rick Flag Sr. goes to Belle Reve to talk to someone, and someone limps onto the camera, and it is, of course, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. And the stunning dialogue of he's chastising Rick Flag, talking about, I tried to tell you about the metahumans. They're going to take over. You got Superman and the Justice Gang running international politics. Meanwhile, I'm here in Belle Reve, listening to a bear-sized man with dragon skin butt-fucking a glowing twink with cartoon eyes in a cell beside me every night. Stunning dialogue. Go look at the tweets that Gunn has. He's got a real thing with specifically calling it butt fucking. He really likes it. And who he likes it with. Oh, boy, the source of those tweets. But yeah, very on par. And then, of course, yes, Chris, after having a very fun heart-to-heart with the real Amelia, where she admits basically that she's in love with him too, and that she's a mess, and blah, 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 blah. The Nazi version of Amelia Harcourt shows up and arrest the intruder. And that's when Chris looks down and finally snaps out of his spell, looks at the American flag, and we get the swastika flag. So yes, confirmed, this is Earth X. Ads, meanwhile. So in the other plot, Kanamos and Adebayo are still in Christopher Smith from Earth X's home, and they find Eagly, who's made a mess of the kitchen. And so they decide to clean up, and Ads goes, let's go for a walk. And Kanamos goes, no, I'm going to stay here. And she goes, okay. And she goes out. She's walking around. First white lady, of course, in the car, eyeballs her, stops up ahead. And then the brother at this point is coming home. One of the neighbors comes out. One got out. I get her. And so the episode ended with Adebayo being chased by an army of white people. It's going to make all the gifs and memes, gifs, whatever. Yeah, it's going to be hilarious. This is going to be meme fodder. And also, again, of all the alternate, you could have just made it Earth 3, right? Where everyone is like evil first. James Gunn, of course, also hinted that maybe the clone of Superman in Superman. He did this in the director's commentary, that perhaps that's where that clone went, to Earth 3. So he is aware that there's an Earth 3 where Ultraman and where everyone is kind of just born evil, where being bad is the predominant quality instead of our world, where supposedly being good is the predominant quality. Yeah, that's it. That's what we got. So if you thought, hey, they're leading up to Earth X, you were right. That is exactly what it led to. And now Adebayo is being chased down the street by a mob of white people. And Vigilante is, again, he was the best part about it. He finally gets to wear the suit. No action, but they get to have their conversation. And yeah, this is where we've gone with it. So little to no idea how this is going to get resolved. We know for sure Superman probably shows up in the 8th one, but yeah, if you wanted to know, the too long didn't read, James just introduced the Nazi planet into the DCU as one of the confirmed multiverse options. So, and Lex Luthor still walks with a limb. Had a pimp cane. It was quite nice. It looks good. And so he basically gave Rick Flag a scanner that can scan for the type of portal energy or whatever. And so he's going to be moved to a nicer accommodation prison. So there you go. Directly connecting to Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Let's see. Got 2 more episodes left, and they all have a bunch of cameos in them. God help us all. God help us all. Let me know what you think about all this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. Are you still watching? Have you just been watching these recaps? Let me know. Either way.
Well, bye.